What's up, YouTube family? I'm back at you like I'm mad at you, but I'm always glad when you're showing up. Absolutely. Because when you're showing up, we growing up and glowing up. Family, I don't know who this is on the other side of this video. I always pray that it lands in the right hands at the right time. The Most High wants you to know, the Most High, sovereign, power and authority of the universe wants you to know that you are forgiven for every past mistake that you ever made, every shortcoming, and every wrong turn that you ever made in your life, that you are forgiven. And it is time for you to forgive yourself, family. It is time for you to forgive yourself. Many of us might not know this. Sometimes you don't know that in a secret place, hidden within you sometimes, hidden within us is our own judgment against ourselves, our own condemnation toward ourselves that has hidden itself within us, a hidden toxicity, family, and weight and burden that we have placed upon ourselves by judging and condemning ourselves for shortcomings of the past and even in the present, family. So you have to realize that many of those betrayals, those mistakes that you made, those lessons that you had to learn growing up, right? Up until this point, those wrong turns that you made. Many times we secretly, right, or unconsciously, unknowingly blame ourselves after we see those who had participated in these scenarios external from us, after we see the people who played the part in things, and we realize the things we have to do better, and sometimes we find ourselves in turn blaming ourselves for allowing ourselves to put ourselves in those situations, family. And it creates a hidden toxicity within us, a hidden condemnation, and a burden by our own judgment toward ourselves, family. The Most High has forgiven you, and it is time for you to forgive yourself. Yeah, some things was tough. Yeah, we had a lot to learn. We all did. You ain't in it by yourself, family. But you must forgive yourself and therefore release that weight, release that burden, release that condemnation. It is written in the scriptures, a man should not condemn himself by what he approves. See, many of us have not accepted the way life lessons takes its course through our experiences. We have not accepted, many of us, that it's just many times a part of the process of becoming great, family. Every successful story has said that their failures and their mistakes, their shortcomings have been the teachers that have made them successful to this day. But many of us have not accepted what we allowed ourselves to go through. It had become a secret toxicity in a secret place hidden within us. Sometimes we may not know it, but because, you know, we see all the things that happened and what got us here, right? And we realized that what led to this point, but we had not known that secretly we have been judging and condemning ourselves within. It's time to release that weight, family. This will be extremely important for your manifestations, right? When it comes to the law of attraction, right? When it comes to your prayers, family. Even when it comes to those of you who just pray. You must forgive yourself. Have you ever heard a man say that he has to fight the system in the world and he has so much to battle when he's out and about that the last thing he wants to do is come home and battle with his partner and have to fight against or with his partner at home. Well, family, that's what it's like with that secret hidden judgment and condemnation toward ourselves, within ourselves, family. When we out and about and we have to battle with the world and against the world, and then when you come home to be with yourself, you secretly have to battle with yourself. You secretly have to deal and live with the condemnation that you put on yourself, the judgment that you put on yourself, whether unknowingly, knowingly, or unknowingly. Sometimes it's an unconscious thing that we do this, family. I myself been through that and experienced that, where I had to realize it took me a long time to realize that I was not forgiving myself for some things. And it was for the very reason that I couldn't understand how I allowed myself to be in the situations that I had allowed myself to be in over time that had caused the displeasure, that had caused the disappointment. Many of you may not know this, but for 2025 moving forward, as you plan your goals and your future, as you work on your manifestations day in and day out, as you work on your vibrations and your frequencies, be sure to forgive yourself for any mistakes, shortcomings, or wrong turns on that journey, family. Because sometimes it could be hidden within you, and you may not even know it. It can be why you feel that little extra weight. You don't know where it's coming from because you don't have a certain thought that you can tie to it, but you just know you feel a little something within you that you can't explain sometimes when you're working on these things, such as your manifestations. Right? You ask yourself, why is it's taking, some days you're having some great days and some days you not so great. Right? Although that can be a natural dynamic, right? It's not every day is designed the exact same to be exactly the same, but many times there's a hidden battle within us. And the reason why sometimes we don't notice it is because it is from us. Sometimes we are the cause of it because of our own judgment and condemnation toward ourselves. You must forgive yourself, family. Forgive yourself. So I was talking to my son earlier, and I just so happened to be looking at my phone when I was talking to him, and I checked out an email from his teacher speaking about a moment that he had in class, right? In the moment, he was pretty much just being tough on himself about some schoolwork that was pretty tough work. And as I was talking to him and noticing the email, I of course, I'm his father, so we talked, and I had to chop it up with him and remind him that he's a genius. I had to remind him that he's a genius. And it just after all, we just came about, and I thought about it just not long ago before I opened up this camera from him, how the Most High, it was almost like the Most High said it to me to bring this message to whoever you are on the other side of this camera, that he knows your shortcomings, but he knows why. He knows that those lessons, sometimes that this is a process, right? But we didn't have to go through everything we had to go through, right? We didn't have to experience everything we had to experience. But you became as wise and as sharp as you are right now to this day. Thus, your experiences are experiments. Again, experiences are experiments. That's my next book on the way. Thus, they are experimental. And so you have to realize that the Most High is not looking at you like the sovereign power and authority of the universe is not looking at you like, yeah, you effed up, and yeah, you let this happen to you. I don't know what you're gonna do now. No, you in a great place. The Father knows that you are a genius and wants to remind you that you are a genius and you're in a great place, and understands everything that you went through. It's just like a puppy. You know, what adult goes out and buys a puppy and don't understand the puppy's growing stages, right? What adult woman goes out and have a baby, a child, and don't understand the baby's growing stages and phases? The Most High, how much more does the most sovereign mind, the most supreme mind, how much more does the most supreme mind understand that you had to learn these things, and he understands your growing stages and phases, family. He understood it back then when you was going through it. Let go of some of that self-condemnation, beating yourself up, and be reminded. I want to remind you on today that you are a genius. You are a star. You are bright. And you are light. And you have so much to offer now. You have so much to offer the world and others, especially those who are like you, that have been through or going through something similar. So you can also, not only can you help yourself, family, by identifying this dynamic within yourself, and by identifying the transaction between the condemnation and the judgment and how it affects you, but you can help others. You can help so many more because you had been strong enough to make it through those things. Sometimes, family, we do that, family, and not even know it. We put weight on ourselves and don't know where the weight coming from. It's like driving a car and you feel something. You study looking around trying to figure out what is that? Here it is, family. That because, again, sometimes we look at all of what we went through and we secretly look at ourselves like with displeasure that we allowed ourselves to even be put in them situations. But you were like a child. And the Most High knows that you were just a child. The Most High knows that you were just a growing and developing baby. You were like a baby. Right? Having to know what it's like to fall, right? How many little babies started out just walking without ever falling? Every little baby had to fall 1,000,000 times, right? Trying to walk, right? Sometimes initially you had to hold them up, right? Before you can even let them go. Every baby has to fall 1,000,000 times, family, on their pamper before they learn how to walk on their own. So I want you to know that this is another way to clear out your aura fields, right? To get your vibration intact. When you're working on your frequency, right? Concerning what you attract into yourself and in your world, right? When you think about your manifestations, your goals. Remember we talked about being like Mario, right? You want to put the power on, whoop, so you can brush through the obstacles, right? This is another thing that is going to be very significant to your empowerment in 2025. You will succeed because with every step and every lesson, every blessing of wisdom that the Most High teaches us, It's going to empower you that much more. It's like Mario or Sonic, when they power up, they can just bust through the obstacles. You're going to bust through the obstacles this year. Most High has forgiven you. Scriptures say God's mercy is endures each morning, lasts forever and ever. So understand the sovereign power and authority of the universe. Many of y'all don't believe in God, you believe in the universe, whatever it is. It overstands. Right? Don't you know that a baby is gonna fall trying to walk 1,000,000 times? How much more does the Most High know? Let it go. Forgive yourself. Become lighter. You are the light of the world. Now watch how much lighter you become when you release this. I want you to sit back, and if you got to meditate on it, if you're gonna have, it's gonna take some time probably for it to come to you. These things, these scenarios that you have been judged, you'll catch it in your own thought process maybe. Or maybe you'll feel it without words. When you think on certain things, how do you feel about it? And that's how you'll know if you're judging yourself about that thing still. Are you still disappointed in yourself about that thing? Remember, I told you, family, we don't allow ourselves to be disappointed continuously on this channel, because disappointment continuously causes us to miss our appointment. Right? We're allowed to be displeased and just feel all of those, displeasures, right? Annoyance, frustrated, be angry, but not allowed to continue on before we check it. Release that weight. Judge not your own self. It's not about just others. Don't judge your own self. Sometimes we judge our own self, and that's the reason why sometimes you're seeing that external from yourself. Release that condemnation, and be free. Feel free. And in fact, I want you to say it with me right now, family. Say it with me right now, family, for this video go out. I forgive myself. I'm saying it with you. I forgive myself for all my own trespasses against myself. I forgive myself for all my past failures, all my struggles, shortcomings, and wrong turns in life. And now I am free from all condemnation and judgment. I am much wiser. I am much stronger. And I can't do nothing but go up from here. All right, family? Put that in your arsenal. Forgive yourself. Be free. To the next video. Peace, positivity, optimism, power, and abundance. Water.